Good afternoon, Vikramji.
Good
Nice.
afternoon, David. Good afternoon. How are you?
Let's get started.
Yeah.
Uh, to everyone who joined, thank you for joining today. Welcome to our 11th episode of MSME Masterclass. Today, your host Nikhil and our co-host. Joining with us is an expert in innovation and strategy. Today, we have privilege of hosting Mr. Vikramjit Singh, the director of Epsilon Automotive Private Limited, a seasoned professional with over 25 years of professional experience in product and concept development across diverse domains. His journey, threaded by the principles of trust, positioning, and segmentation, has yielded remarkable success in critical care medical equipment, commercial kitchens, and sheet metal parts. With a commitment to innovation and customer value, Mr. Vikramjit Singh has truly exemplified the ethos of a masterclass. Join us as we dwell into his insights and expertise to bring wealth and to empower MSMEs. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Thank you, Nikhil, and thank you for the superstar introduction. Wasn't expecting that, but yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. So, for our audience, maybe we could start with you shedding some light about you and Epsilon Automotive Parts Private Limited.
Yeah. So I think you've said enough about me. I don't need to say anymore. That's fine. Epsilon actually started in 1964. So the current management, the ownership is third generation. We have seen both ups and downs, drifts and troughs. We have gone through lots of businesses, but our basic principle of commitment, quality has remained the same. We started our operation in 1964. We became a private limited in 1996, 95, 96. We were the first ones to actually get a turret press, strip it directly imported from the US. Our main achievement always has been trying to be abreast with the latest technologies available in hand to give the customer a better product range, quality, precision, which these are the principles which we have built this company on. And trust, gaining the trust of the clients is extremely important as well. And our journey has been, like I said, troughs and crests. We've been through many businesses. At one time we were even manufacturing seamless capsules, the 7Cs capsules. But what happens is with time, the changes in the market, the changes in the requirement of the governments, etc., come into play. So with everything, we've I won't say burnt our fingers, but it's always been a learning curve for us. We have finally settled back to our sheet metal fabrication, which has been our core competence from the beginning. I don't think I can name companies, but we were very big in prototyping once upon a time, and then as a part of our marketing strategy, we were from prototype to the final product, and that's how we grew the business. We also did plastics. We did, those tanks, water tanks, overhead water tanks. We had to exit businesses because at some point of time, the demands were getting too much to comply on so many fronts. So I think what we did and made a decision is to hone our skills on what we are very good at, and what we have been doing, which is in our blood for the last 50, 60 years, and we stuck to that. We are one of the companies which never moved out of Bombay during Octroy, or just to save on Octroy, etc., because I think for us, what was important was to get 24 hours electricity, simple things like that, where production doesn't suffer because of non-available of electricity. Maybe skilled labor in those in the olden days, but now of course that's changed a lot. That's basically been the journey of Epsilon in a nutshell. We are still evolving. We are evolving in different directions. I think after so many years of hard work, we have now hit the right spot, we call the sweet spot, and we are growing from there.
Thank you for sharing your journey as a manufacturer with Epsilon.
Yeah.
So, moving along, as you talked about a little about, issues with workforce and various other aspects, maybe you could talk about a little about key challenges faced during the business journey.
I think the challenges we face is pretty much similar across all businesses. Basically, the cash flow, the cash flow, managing the cash flow, ensuring we don't promise too much, ensuring we get our payments on time so that we are able to service our clients better. I mean, at the end of the day, we have to get paid on time, right? So, as a company, we have to ensure that we give the client what he wants. It's very simple. They will give us what we want on most cases. But we also have to leverage the fact that you may not get paid on time. And then how do you sustain? So we have now developed a strategy where we actually are doing a cash flow plan for at least the financial year, which is kind of fixed, and then for the subsequent year, which is the tentative cash flow plan. Because at the end of the day, cash at the end of the day is king, and it helps us to ensure that we take care of all our incidentals, we take care of all our, whether it's your vendors, your suppliers, your labor force, your workforce, etc., raw material suppliers like you. Yeah. So I think for me, for us, not me, sorry, but for us, I think the main thing is to ensure that we live up to the expectations, not only of our client, but we live up to expectations of the ones who are joined with us in our journey.
That's a great journey, sir. I see that you're working, great care in working together with your team. Yeah. So, moving along, as you know, there are various aspects in businesses, be it innovative or any kind of strategic decisions. Maybe you could talk about certain innovative approaches or strategic decisions, maybe, or technological advances you might have taken, which have contributed or helped you scale up towards success.
So, like I said, in 1996, we were one of the first companies, I would think, in Bombay City at that time, to import turret punch press. Now it was imported to ensure that when we are doing multiple batches of a particular part, it is exact the same time, and we remove the human error portion of that. So once we had done that, we saw there was a huge increase in productivity. So we have tried to be ahead of our time, to incorporate technologies which will help us to grow and, like I said, satisfy our client, have a better turnaround time. Just to ensure that we are not banking on one person, or we're not banking on a process which we know has a chance to fail, and try to reduce the process failures as we go along in our manufacturing journey. So basically, I would say innovation. It might be difficult for a company who's starting up to put all these things into place. But then, like I said, there has to be a plan. There has to be a growth plan. And that comes from other things, the aspects. When you say marketing, where do I get the business from? What kind of business am I going to get? So our strategy has been, although we are into sheet metal and we are into job work, but we are under contractual job works, where we have a fixed product or products, which are our bread and butter. And that gives us the freedom to expand and explore more avenues and expertise and increase. See, first we were doing only skin panels, or now we have got into sub-assemblies. Now we're finally getting into assemblies, because these are also market driven. These are driven by the client, the requirements. A lot of companies, standard companies, are consolidating, reducing the number of vendors, and they are looking at us to be innovative and ensure that we are able to give a complete solution to them. Now, I'll give you an example, a very small example. Let's take a car seat or a bus seat. There are various components which go into that. There is a metal part, there is a foam part, there is let's say a leather or stroke, whatever materials they use. There are a lot of these components. Now, rather than them assembling, they would want us to give them the complete seat. They put 4 bolts and their job is done. So I'm talking from the automotive sector because that's where our expertise lies currently. So these aspects are important to grow. And so basically innovation, I'm not going to say digitization and automation, yes, but you need to reach critical mass before you invest in these technologies. You need to be absolutely sure that it will give you the benefits you are seeking. It's not a lot of we made the same mistakes. We bought white elephants. We bought equipment which cost a lot, and we were not able to derive the exact value from them. So it has to be a cautious approach, rather than cautious and calculated. I think calculated is a better word. It has to be a calculated. You need to know. This is what I need to achieve. This is where I want to go with this. Okay, I'm starting with skin panels. Then I'm going to sub-assemblies. Then I'm going to assemblies. You're giving value to your client. That's all. That's basic in all industries. It's not only for a sheet metal, but the client should see value in you, and then the business will come. We made the mistake of one of the mistakes we made is we were always we had one. We were supplying one particular assembly to a particular client. Right now, the clients are also looking at ways and means of reducing their costing. That is always ongoing. That is one thing you have to remember. You have to be top of your game as far as costings are concerned, because there is competition out there. Everybody wants to take it's. We are not making anything which is proprietary. Unless you get into proprietary, then it's a whole new. What I'm doing, 50 other people can do at the same. Maybe they would try to do at a better cost. You know how it is. So you have to leverage that. You have to ensure that you are indispensable to your client in a way that you give him solutions. You're not stuck to a single product. You can see it is at the end of the day in our industry, it is a volume game. So you have to leverage your product with continuously going back. So the easiest marketing strategy, easiest client is a happy client. You can go to him and he'll give you better business. So innovation, calculated innovation, calculated risks, I would say. You will have to take certain amount of risk, but they have to be calculated, and humility to accept that you made a mistake, close that, and move on. And that's basically my advice, or our journey, basically, as far as that sense, and our principle.
That's a long journey, sir. I see that over the years, that with your experience and time that you've spent that you have developed your product in such a way that you've been able to deliver trust with your customers. As I see that you've been so much care you've put into this product, and that the strategic innovations that you've involved makes it a very successful product for you, and even in a competitive environment. So in such kind of space, is there maybe some kind of, as you might already mention, some kind of best practices that you want other MSMEs or manufacturers also to follow from your years of experience? You believe that others should also do it, be it financial, operational, business decisions, human resources, anything, any kind of.
There is a lot. I think India at this particular time is at a very, very crucial cusp of its onward journey. The push for Make in India, the vocal, I would say government, I'm not a political person at all, but I would say this awareness of Indian manufacturing all across the world. Where I see a gap because I've actually, one of the things I did was I used to sell medical equipment. I used to work for an American company. So at the age of 23 or 24, I went and saw their factories and how production was carried out. We need to number one, start with better infrastructure within our plants. And of course the normal things. We need to have trained professionals. I for us, let's say, I would love to hire people from great engineering colleges, but I would always, for us, it's always been the aptitude of the person, the willingness to learn, whatever other faults they have. Nobody is perfect. So basically, my advice is that we have to shape up our manufacturing. We have to have lean manufacturing. We have to ensure minimum wastage, because that helps your profitability. We have to ensure our people are happy, so they give you better production. So these are the standard things. And your competition is not sitting in Pune and not sitting in Nasik. Your competition is sitting in Turkey. Your competition is sitting in Philippines. Your competition is sitting in Thailand. These are the countries, few countries who are also big in manufacturing. And traditionally, Europe goes to Turkey side. Americans go towards Thailand, and so everybody's got their favorites. There is a reason for that, and the reason is basically have a smaller shop, but have a lean, productive, well-lit, well-ventilated shop with trained people who speak. I won't say, I'm not talking about language, but who speak, and constantly look at improving your, like I said, your manufacturing practices are extremely important. You need to have a proper cash flow plan for the year. You need to have a proper production plan for the year, and you need to ensure that you are able to deliver what the client wants. And I think that's the basic. I think we should try to achieve better production score. So, and take care of anything might happen. Sometimes, what happened during COVID. A lot of manufacturing was shut. Unfortunately, because we were supplying to the agricultural industry, we were allowed to open, but that was not the case with anyone, I think. And that's the time we utilized to introspect, because we were still working with some of the laborers and were giving what our client wanted even at that period of time. That was only possible because our systems were set. We were able to, of course, it would take what would take 2 hours to do would take 4 hours, but then we leveraged that by increasing our working time. So everybody took it on themselves, and that's what I mean. You need to have people who have the aspiration. They need to have the aspiration to succeed, to share the same vision as you. So you need to take care of your people. You need to ensure that your people are happy. And these are the small few things which I would think are extremely important for growth. Very simple. They have no rocket science.
And the simplicity is the answer. Yeah. Yes, I believe, there are certain aspects that you've spoken. MSMEs across the board also can, use and make sure that they create a...
Another thing I want to add, sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
You should always try to do business at your own terms. It has to be at your terms. It has to be something you're comfortable with. Do not over-promise. Do not over-exaggerate things and then fall flat. Be clear, do business, but do business at your own terms. Simple.
Absolutely. Starting your own business, doing it on your own terms, you make the decisions. And you work around it.
See, when we take informed decisions. All the stakeholders are involved. It's not it's not a single person's decision. should always be a collective decision of the people who are with you for a long time. You have the respect, you have the trust. You can have an open conversation with them. I was a 21, 22 year old. Sorry, that was the first job I got. I was around 25 years old when I went to this factory in the US. And, being from an engineering college, you having the ragging and you call everybody sir. So that thing stuck, that you have to call all your seniors sir. When I went to the US, I saw the president of the company, right? Everybody addressing him on first name. He would, like, if there's something fallen on the floor, he would pick it up. He won't call his or shout at him. So basically, that's the freedom I feel. You have to give people your people, which are very important for your success, the freedom to use their mind, right? That's why I said the decision should be collective. The decisions can stem from one person. At the end of the day, the department in charge, it's his call, but you should be able to advise. That's what I'm saying.
Thanks for the advice. That's excellent advice for all the people who probably want to just get started and find their path in the world of business. As that kind of, there are actually more questions I did want to ask, but you've been so eloquent in most of the topics that I probably wouldn't have to ask most of the questions. Yeah. So we could turn to audience right now, as I believe you have covered most aspects of the business that I can talk about. Right. If anybody has a question, they could post it in the Q&A session. While that's happening, before the session, we have gotten a couple of questions.
Right.
So we could probably, talk about that.
Sure.
There's one question from Mr. Advik. How do you maintain a balance between innovation and adhering to established best practices within your organization?
I think best practices, the adherence this comes from the will. You need to have the will to. If you set a path, if you set your quality, you planned all your best practices in your organization. You need to follow that with whatever the case may be, whether you're making a profit, you're making a loss. So the innovation and best practices always go hand in hand. If you innovate, the best practice is always to innovate. So lean manufacturing, your 3 M's of manufacturing: man, machine, and material. So ensure you get best quality material. These are all standard practices, procedures, and processes. The main thing is to implement. The implementation is always the key, and you can always tweak. If you find something not working for you, it's costing you too much, or it's taking too much of your time, and it's not really being effective. It's an innovative process. Like I told you, we have been through, as a company in the last 50-60 years, we've been through quite a few products, quite a few businesses, right? But we stuck to our core competence, and we tweaked it along the way. We tweak everything along the way. So it should be such a way that it's flexible, and it's ensure that you are able to, at the end of the day, it should translate to a happy customer and money in your bank.
I'm sure that must have answered the question of Advik. Let's move on to the next question. There is a question from Mr. Vijay Reddy. Considering the evolving business landscape, how do you foresee the future of the steel or the manufacturing industry?
Oh, evolving landscape. The world's your oyster. There's a huge shift in perception of Indian companies. We've done, one of the things my client told me once, and I'll never forget. He said, you understand us. What we are trying to convey, you understand us. It's very important that you know how to achieve what your client wants, and that's been now I think the strength of India, because we have many more engineers. We have our infrastructure is getting better. So I feel we are just at the beginning. But yes, what you really need to do to sustain that journey of your upward journey is to ensure, like I said, your competition is not with Nasik and Nagpur, with no disrespect to any of these cities. Or if you're in Nagpur, it's not with us, with the company in Bombay. Your competition in Turkey, Philippines, Vietnam. Vietnam is going extremely. They're really upping their game as far as manufacturing is concerned. So it's a very exciting time to be in, but you need to also understand what the competition is and who you're dealing with, and you will we will have a lot of successful Indian companies for sure.
Absolutely, sir. So, in such kind of competitive environment you speak of, sir, in globally and local, what do a MSME or manufacturer have to ensure that they can remain the best? The products can remain like cutting edge, or they can, beat the competition, be the relevant, and maybe be the best.
So there are various aspects to this. To be the best, like I said, again, I'm sorry if I'm just repeating myself and you're going in a loop. It's basically ensuring you have best manufacturing practices. It's ensuring that you have a lean cash flow. It's ensuring that you are giving your stakeholders the funds, the rewards, the returns, what they are looking for. And competition is always going to be there. But in saying that, if you give a good product consistently to your client, and be proactive in without doing anything, but just be proactive in setting up systems which will help the client to have a peace of mind that yes, I know I don't have to worry about this guy. He's going to give me a good product. These are the systems he has come up with. I think they're fantastic. And, always engage with your client and the expectations. Because what happens is, a lot of organizations, people change. So you have made a good rapport with somebody, then that guy goes away. Then there's another guy, he might have his chacha, kaya, mama, who he wants to butter up. But you have to make yourself indispensable. And the way you can make yourself indispensable is ensure you give a quality product, which is basically why because I don't feel any manufacturer is in the business to sell a bad product, right? Nobody is in the business to sell a bad product. If you're selling a bad product, you might sell for a few years, and then that's the end of you. People are smarter than you really think. If you have half a brain, they have half a brain as well. So, it is being relevant to your client at that particular point of time with innovations, with, like I said, peace of mind to the client that you will deliver what he's expecting you to deliver. And the competition is always going to be there. It's good. It's healthy.
Thank you, sir. I think that's a great question. I think one of the audience member has raised his hand. He might have a question directly. So let's allow him to speak.
Mr. Hi, Anshul. Hi, Anshul. Good afternoon.
Hi, Anshul.
Hello. Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Hi, Anshul. Good afternoon.
So my question is, as we get connected with JSW One MSME, what are the benefits we can gather as we are purchasing from the market, and what will be the benefits we can gather and grow with the JSW One MSME as far as the purchases are concerned?
Okay, sure. So honestly, Anshul, I have been dealing with JSW before the one came into the picture. We were buying stainless steel directly from their factory when they were manufacturing. Okay. Now, my experience with JSW has been extremely good because, see, as a default, I have to, because I'm exporting these bus body parts, by default, I have to check the quality every time, every consignment, right? It's not only from the mill.
Okay.
It comes. I send it to my lab. Within 3 days, I get a report. And for the last, I think, the 2.5 years I've been dealing with them, I've had zero rejection because of quality. And I've done it because of, actually, in hindsight, it's very good, but it was my client's requirement. Because I'm supplying to the auto industry, and you know that the quality of the material is extremely important. So you can be rest assured. I think with JSW, I've personally never had an issue as far as any quality of the issue is concerned. So I'm very happy to work with them going forward.
Sir, as far as the quality is concerned, it's never a concern from the GSW.
Yeah.
My actually concern is how productive the pricing can be, and what will be the minimum buying quantity that will be required if we go through the JSW one online.
I think JSW can answer that question, and yes, I have the same complaint against them. I have to buy an MOQ, which sometimes I don't need, but for me it is okay because I do have repetitive orders for the same thickness.
Okay.
But then that affects my cash flow. So it's not that because I'm going to use it next time, I can buy it. I'd rather spend 4 lakhs now and 4 lakhs in 10 days time rather than spending 8 lakhs in one go. So yes, I have that complaint. Very well done, Shul. And please, Nikhil, please send a note to your higher management. I have the same complaint.
Absolutely. I understand, Anshul, even Vikramjit, if you have any query or this, let me, you can directly reach out to me. After this conversation, I'll just post my email address and you can call me and I'll help you resolve
all. But since I'm the co-host I think I speak for all the MSMEs who are on this chat, that the one thing which you need to help, like I said, cash flow is extremely important. You need to help our I have various thicknesses, and I'll give you an example. I mean, are we going over time? I'll give you a simple example. I'm supplying bus body parts in a kit form. That means my product goes directly on the shop floor, right? So I could need 5 tons of 1.6 mm GI, but I will need maybe 1.5 ton of MS. So then I have to scramble to buy that 1.5 ton from someone else, and that again affects my productivity, because then I'm waiting for material. I have to search for other vendors. So there should, I think the MOQ thing should go, and I think you should look at the complete order, and you should be able to service. I'm not saying. I think this is something which will really help a lot of MSMEs. Again, I said cash flow is important, boss.
Thank you for your feedback, Vikram. We'll also make sure that we'll be able to make any implementation on it and speak about it internally. And thank you, Anshul, for your questions. I think there's just one more question I've gotten from Himanshu Gupta. We could use that question as the last question for the session.
All right.
Ask. What would you give advice for all the budding entrepreneurs or people who just want to get started in the manufacturing or the MSME space? What can they do better?
Oh, there's a whole lot of books written on them, how to buy a Ferrari. But yeah, simple advice. I said simple advice is have everything planned. Have a complete plan, have a goal, 6-month goal, 1-year goal. This is what I want to start achieving. Implement a proper cash flow plan. I'm telling you, that's extremely important. A proper cash flow plan, a production plan. Ensure, production plan should include the wastage calculations when you're quoting. Ensure that all that is taken care of. And start with the plan and set short-term goals and long-term goals to achieve what you have started off to do. And always have this, like I said, from skin parts to a sub-assembly to assembly. But like I said, these work on a cash flow plan, work on a production plan, and keep your expenses low if you can. and productivity high if you can. And very important. I think you need to have something which goes out monthly, or a bread and butter. Only then you'll be able to sustain. Otherwise, it becomes difficult. You're waiting for orders. You completed one order, then you have to wait. The cycle has to keep rolling. So that you have to ensure that before you start, you have something which will sustain you for like 6 months, 1 year, at least. If you can't do that, okay, then shorten it, and then make your plan around what you think you will be achieving as a sales target, as a manufacturing target, and ensure that you have the cash flow for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I hope Himanshu Gupta and every other MSME who heard your advice will be able to take it seriously. As we conclude this great session with Mr. Vikramjit Singh, I would like to thank everybody in the audience for the participation of this today's event, and also absolutely thank Mr. Vikramjit for your invaluable insights in this session and sharing your experience over your professional journey.
Thank you. You made me a superstar, man. I'm sorry. I'm not worthy of such praise, but thank you.
Every businessman is a superstar, sir. So, and during the session, I hope everybody can adopt or take up the practices that Mr. Vikram sir has mentioned here. And hopefully, if anybody has any queries after this session, I'll be sending out mails for everybody. You can just reach out to me if you have anything you want to discuss, or if anybody wants to connect with Mr. Vikramjit Singh, I will speak with sir and see if I can help you guys get connected.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. Email is fine.
Thank you, everyone. Stay tuned for the next episode.
Thank you, Nikhil. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.